Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of our Community Access. This week, we will tell you about the K9 Rescue League's third annual Wag and Walk. Then, we watch the flag ceremony from the American Legion Post 108 Riders. Then, our friend Elgin Nichols has another edition of Elgin's Toolbox. And finally, George from Wojo's Garden Center, all today on our Community Access.
Welcome to the American Legion Friday Night Fish Fry. Y'all come in to the best fish fry in town.
Well, as a 30-plus year Oxford resident, I've got to tell you, the American Legion, East Drainer Road, Fridays from 12 to 9, the best fish in the area.
We've been coming here for years, and the food's always been wonderful.
Here we are at the Legion having our fish and chips. Walleye is fantastic, cod is good, shrimp, everything. It's a great place to eat on Friday night with our friends. Service is great, so you should come out and have it.
If it's Friday, it's Fish Day at the American Legion at 130 East Drainer Road, Oxford. Welcome back. The third annual Wag and Walk from the K9 Rescue League. With the story is our reporter, Terry Stiles. Terry?
Hi, Bill. I'm at the K9 Stray Rescue League, and it's one of my favorite places to go. I am with Trapper and June today. Now, normally on our Community Access, we will spot just the dogs so they get most of the attention. But today I'm here also to talk about the Wag and Walk that's coming up May 18th, right?
Yes, it starts at 9:30 with early registration, and at, I believe it is 9:30. Yes, 9 o'clock is early registration, and 9:30 we start with refreshments. We have games, we have silent auctions. We do have the Wag and Walk, and it is at Powell Lake Township Park in Oxford. It's $15 for to register for an individual and $30 for a family. That includes a t-shirt, and like I said, we've got tons of games and prizes and all sorts of things for the kids and the families, and also the puppies that come to walk.
And so Powell Lake is by the library in Oxford, correct?
Yes, I believe it is.
And then will people be walking with their dogs? Is that how that works?
Yes, actually, if you've got a dog, you can bring your dog. If you just want to come by yourself, come by yourself. You know, we probably will have a couple of kennel dogs that will be there also. So, you know, it's just kind of a fun family time for everybody. And we like to, you know, obviously play up on the dogs.
Although it is a fundraiser, it's not necessarily an adoption kind of day. You have those separately, correct?
Yes, actually, we really don't do any adoptions at the Wag and Walk. Obviously, there will be some canine dogs there, but it's just to kind of get our, you know, the community together, let you know where we're at, and kind of see some of the dogs. And actually, a lot of previous adopters end up bringing their dogs with them. So it's just kind of a good time to meet and greet old and new friends.
My heart's there because I am a previous adopter. So this is one of your major fundraising events of the year, and you are not a for-profit.
No, we are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. We completely rely on the generosity of donations to help us run our kennel. And then, you know, doing the adoptions, then we do the Wag and Walk. And, you know, we try and have... we have a garage sale coming up at the end of July, or the end of June, I believe it is. We've had open houses. So, you know, whatever we can do to kind of let people be aware that we're here and donate.
And so if people are in a position where maybe they can't donate money and they can't adopt a dog, is there anything else you need here that they might be able to help out with?
Well, actually, now that you've asked, yes, we are. You know, you don't have to have money to be part of K9. We love to have volunteers come in. We have everything from doing laundry, sorting newspaper, to walking the dogs and fostering for us. Anything that you're comfortable doing, that's what we want you to do. It just, you know, we're part of the community, and you know, we want people to come in here and see what we're all about. So whatever your forte is, you know, come on in, and you know, if you're a builder, a carpenter, anything like that, men, women, We are happy to have you. We've got Girl Scout troops that come, the Boy Scouts, Eagles have done project for us. So whatever you can do for us, we definitely appreciate.
It's such a great service in this community. Bill, I know that I'm going to be there on the 18th just because I want to see all the dogs, and I think it's a great idea, and I certainly think I'd love to donate. I can't get another dog, although I'd love to take one of these babies home with me. Bill, I hope we see everybody there.
Do not miss the third Wag and Walk this Saturday, May 18th at Powell Lake Township Park in Oxford, 530 Pontiac Street. Next up, we went to the American Legion where the Legion Riders had a flag ceremony. Let's watch.
I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Tonight, we are 15 months old, the American Legion Riders of Post 108. We have quite a showing tonight. Tonight we're going to raise our colors. And the special occasion, we're 15 months old, like I said, and we've got 40 members and growing exponentially. So thank you all for coming. And with that, shall we commence with the raising of our colors? All right, how about a nice round of applause? Okay, here we go, guys. We got our colors. Yeah.
There you go. Congratulations to the American Legion Post 108 Riders. Next up is another edition of Elgin's Toolbox. Elgin?
Hey Bill, welcome to Elgin's Toolbox, and we're at Oxford Lakes subdivision today. We had a telephone call from the owner who wants a screen replaced, and that's what we're going to do today. Pretty good sized screen, as you can see. It goes to a sliding door system. First of all, I want to talk about the types of tools that I'm going to need and how much the expense would be if you were to do it yourself. You're going to need a spline unit. They make a couple of different types. This one is made out of plastic, but I found that after you've used it a couple times, it has a tendency to come apart. So not a good investment. I would suggest this unit here, which is metal and of course with a wood handle. This one cost about $1 more, but well worth the money. You're talking roughly about $3 to $4 for one of these. Then we're going to need a screwdriver, a Phillips probably, and I've got a straight edge also just in case, and you'll see why we're going to need those. And of course a sharp knife in order to cut the screen once we get it in place. This is spline material which is going to hold the screen in place once we get it in position. So with that, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is size up the situation and see what we have here. I haven't seen this before. Apparently the owner has had some work done here before. You can see the corner braces placed on this, so there must have been some problems with the structure at some point, but it seems to be plumb and straight, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. We don't need to replace the frame. I also checked the seal on the side here, the weather stripping, and this probably should be replaced. We don't have to do that today, but it's a real simple job to do, and you're only talking a few dollars in order to replace it. Just a matter of just stripping it off and replacing it with a new one. But today we're more concentrated on the screen. So this has 4 rollers on it, 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom, and that's pretty common on a sliding door system like this. You will find that they are adjustable, and there's a small hole in this one on each end that allows us to drop these rollers. So it allows us the space in order to remove the screen. Sometimes they're frozen up if they've been there for a while, so we'll have to check that out. The other thing we need to do is replace this assembly here, which is a handle and a lock system. So we're going to start to do that right now. We have to be careful not to lose any of these screws. There's 3 screws that hold it in place. Get this last one, it should come apart pretty easy. Okay, we have the latch assembly off. The next move we're going to make is try to adjust this in the bottom to raise the rollers on the bottom, so we'll have more clearance. Okay, this is going to be a problem because it's frozen. We'll have to check the roller once we get it apart. And there's another way that we can lift this. It does have some clearance in it, and we can actually lift the roller underneath this and pop it out. And that's what we're going to do. You can see the roller there, and we got that side out. Come to this side. And we have the second one out. Just a matter of pulling it out now. So we have the screen out. Next move is to check those rollers and see why it was frozen up. We'll just make a quick survey. That one looks okay. I can see this roller is working okay. It's just that the mechanism here is frozen. As you saw, we don't really need to adjust this. Just put it in place once we're finished. But if you did have to replace it though, there's a couple of different styles. Actually, there's about 4 or 5 different styles. So, but we won't have to do that today. Now we're going to get started with removing the old screen. Okay, Bill, here's where the damage is done. As you can see, I can get my fingers through there. So this won't work too well with mosquitoes this summer. So we're going to take care of that little ditty. The rest of the screen seems to be pretty good, and it's not really an old screen, so somebody has replaced this not long ago. So I suspect the damage was done maybe through children trying to enter in and out of the house. So let's remove this spline, which runs around the perimeter. So I have to dig this out, find the beginning point, which will take me just a moment here. Okay, we're going to pull the spline out, which is the seal strip that holds this in place. And you can see it's a rubberized material. Now if it was plastic, we would have to replace it completely. But I think we can salvage what we have here and not replace it with new, because this seems to be pretty resilient. As I say, I think this screen has been replaced not long ago. So at some point this was a new strip that was put in here. So you can see it comes apart quite easily. Sometimes too easily. But in this case, it's working to our advantage. Okay, we have this retainer out. So we're just going to lay it over here just for a moment. And you'll see this will come right apart very easily. How about that, Bill? Okay. We're going to set this aside because actually this screen isn't too bad, and we may be able to use it if this homeowner has a problem with one of the other screens to repair one of those later on. So we're just going to save this. It's pretty good shape other than where the Terrier is at. Let's set it over here. And now I have the new screen. Here's the new screen, and for this size door we're looking at 48 inches wide by 84 inches tall. You can pick this up at your local hardware, usually less than $10 for this size door opening. Of course, smaller one would be less money. If you consider the first time installation, if you're going with a large door like this and the spline tool, you'll be talking probably roughly $15. Now, what is the cost if you have a professional do this and you not do it yourself? Probably in the neighborhood of between $50 and $75. All right, Bill, now we're going to show you, we'll start at the top, right in the very corner. We have to get it started here. And this is grooved, so it will actually follow the strip that we're putting in. There we go. You can see how it's going right into the groove. Okay, we're just about got this to the end now. We want to make sure it's nice and tight. Did you order that lawnmower, guy? There, I just chased him away. Okay, well, we're just about done with this project. I got to bring this up a little tighter. And you can see how we're working it. And you are finding yourself handy out there. Can save a lot of money if you do this. especially if you have multiple windows. Now this rubberized retainer, what they call a spline, actually stretches. So it'll actually pull in too once it's seated. We got a little bit of a leftover here, so we're just going to clip that with a pretty sharp knife. And make sure we got it in the groove. We do. Now, next thing we have to do is trim it. And we're going to take that real sharp knife and we're just going to run it along this edge. And here's the part where you don't want to slip and go through the screen, because then you get to do it again. After a few thousand times, you won't have that happen though. Just be very careful when you're trimming. Okay, Bill, we've got 3 sides finished, 1 more to go, and then I think we'll be ready to remount this little rascal. Of course, we're doing a little inventory too when we're done here. Make sure we have all our fingers left. It's a pretty sharp knife. Well, we've just about got it. Got about another 2 or 3 inches. My blade is getting a little dull. I don't really like working with a dull blade, but I'm almost there. So we'll go with what we have. Well, here's the new screen. Looks a little better than the old one, wouldn't you agree? And it didn't take very long to do it either. We still have to put the handle on yet. So that'll take a couple of minutes here. Okay, we're finishing up the handle and the lock assembly. A few more twists of the screw here. Just make sure they're nice and snug, not over tight. And there's our new door. Let's put it in place. Okay, just a matter of popping the rollers in. We got 1 on each end. How about that, Bill? All right, Bill, I'll tell you what, that finishes this project. And I believe the next project we're going to do is replacing an outside light for a gentleman over in one of the other developments. So until I see you then, remember, you can do it yourself. This is Elgin for Toolbox.
Good job, Elgin. Now it's time for Wojo's Garden Center. George?
Hi, I'm Ken LaPlace, director of OCTV, and I bet you're wondering why I'm dressed like this. Well, I'm dressed like this because many years ago I used to be a police officer. But there's another reason I'm dressed like this, and that's to tell you about a very special day coming up on May 11th, and that's called Police Day at OCTV. And that very special day, we pay tribute to police officers all over the area, and it allows you, the public, to come in and meet them and talk with them. It's going to be a great time because we're going to have bands, we're going to have free food, we're going to have exhibits, and we're going to have all kinds of things for kids to do. Like, for example, they can wear police gear and police uniform like this riot control helmet to have a good time. They'll be able to play with handcuffs and put handcuffs on and have a lot of fun with that, and a lot of other different ways that with things that police officers have. But it's also another very special day because it's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for an organization called Living Legends. And Living Legends is an organization that is locally based, and what they do is they help police officers who are in need, police officers who are sick or injured, and including their families. And by coming there, and if you decide to make a donation, then all of the money 100%, goes to Living Legends. Now, the event is totally free, so keep in mind, we want you to come and have a good time. If you decide to contribute, fine. There's another way you can contribute as well. You see this little badge here. This is a badge that's a paper badge that you can get at your local dealer, grocery store or restaurant. Some select sponsors have these, and we've decided to give them for the public to buy. It's $1, and for $1, you can help a police officer or a police officer's family. So remember, folks, this is a very, very special time, and it comes during a very special time of the year. It's National Police Week. So let's all come together, let's support the officers, and come on down to OCTV for Police Day.
May has come and we're getting nice warmer weather. As Bill looks behind us, we see beautiful color here in the tree and shrub area. We're very excited about the plants that are now coming into color and the wonderful selection that we have here for you. In roses, rhododendron, the roses came in from Lincoln Nursery over on the western side of the state. The rhododendron came in from Rose Bay growers over in Saugatuck, acclimated for Michigan, and will thrive in your landscape. Here at Wojo's, we're excited about our 30th year. It was 30 years ago that Joe started out with a roadside stand and one greenhouse, and how we've grown. We're also excited that we received recognition for the revolutionary 100 garden centers in the United States. We're one of 3 within Michigan. So it's quite a significant honor that we've received, and we're very proud of it. It's a group effort, all of the employees here that work to provide beautiful plants for our guests and share with them as much knowledge as possible so that you can enjoy those successes. This time of year is a great time to start fertilizing, top dressing your trees and shrubs. When you plant your trees and shrubs and other perennials, and even your annuals, you want to use a plant starter. We have a wonderful plant starter called Biotome. It's organic. It has the mycorrhiza, the microscopic organisms that help the plants get a good start. Also, if you have fruit trees, don't forget the spraying cycle. We're beyond the dormant spray, but now is time to do the orchard spray and the cycle that's necessary for the successful crop that you will receive. We're going to go into the greenhouse now and show you some of the color that is coming in, and then we're going to go to Veggieville. So we'll take a pause now and head inside. Thank you, Bill. We've moved back into the annual area, and as you can see behind me, we have our crew that are busily putting the annuals down on the tables. The beautiful petunias now are being set out, and it provides, again, what is going to be a wonderful blush of color for you. As Bill pans across the greenhouse, we're going to get just a splash of color that is second to none. We're getting a lot of people coming in, very, very excited about the baskets, the flowers that we have out. The fear of frost, long-range forecasts seem favorable. That's not to say that in Michigan we might be throwing a curveball, but the long-range forecasts look very, very favorable for us. The color we have here, the wonderful varieties we have, the newer varieties we have of plants are, again, very, very special. And we encourage you to come on in and take a look at those. So we'll let Bill scan a little bit, pick up some of the color. The hanging baskets are out for both sun and shade. The annuals for sun and shade. A very, very special offering. And then we'll move back into Veggieville. Thank you, Bill, for moving back into our vegetable area. We're very, very proud of the offering that we have of vegetables and herbs. Joe started 30 years ago primarily a vegetable crop farmer, so that our selection of vegetables that we have to offer probably is the most extensive of any garden center that you're going to find in the area. And we're very proud of the work that is done by our growers, producing, again, special plants for you. The varieties we have, I believe this year we have some 28 varieties of tomatoes. I'm standing here by the peppers, and we've got a good 15 varieties of peppers. And I wanted to mention there is one that sold out very quickly last year. People ask about the ghost pepper. This is one of the hottest peppers that you can purchase, and we've We've got an ample supply right now, but we do expect to sell out. So when you see this show, I'd get in here and get them before they're gone. We've grown 4 times as many as we did last year, wanting to have enough to meet the demand, but again, a very special variety. I mention again the selection of vegetables we have. We have the seed potatoes. Something that we have also, I'm going to have Bill scan over here. We're finding that people may not have as much space, or maybe they're downsizing. Folks my age are maybe moving into condominiums where you don't have an opportunity to have a large garden space. We have assembled some gorgeous containers. And as you can see here on this table, just a spectacular show of color options we have. And again, if you have a small space and need that color, we also have these in porch rail pots. Some folks have a deck that has a railing on it. We have containers that have a groove in the bottom that you're able to set the containers over the top of the railing. Again, put together in these similar color combinations. Again, it's the idea of coming to Wojo's to provide that color for your landscape. I like to use the phrase, color your world at Wojo's, either in containers, bedding plants that you can plant in the ground, or hanging baskets. We have it here. Next area we're going to go to is the perennial area. We just got some beautiful plants up and we want to share those with you. Thank you, Bill. We're now in the perennial area where things are really hopping. We've got a beautiful shipment in from our growers, some beautiful foxglove ready for Mother's Day. Our ornamental grasses are now coming into the retail area. Back here, the columbine is in full flower. Over here in our shade area, the bleeding hearts. You can see their attractive color. And this little one is called King of Hearts. This one stays smaller in size. For the shade area, we have again a very wide selection of plants. On this other side over here, we have the coral bells. Real popular variety is plum pudding with its deep burgundy foliage. This one is called Sweet Tea. We've got some foam flower here. This one is called Happy Trails. Brunera Jack Frost. This was perennial plant of the year a couple years ago. These are already in flower. And again, as I mentioned, our production staff has done just a wonderful job to bring our plants into retail, most of them in flower, ahead of the game of what they are in our current landscapes at home. But it does really show what the plant can be, and it gives you that instant color right now. Again, I wanted to mention that if you go on our website, wojos.com, we have our complete listing of our product line. We also have a listing of our events that are coming up for the remainder of the month in May and then throughout the summer. Kids Club is very popular. We have a series of events with Kids Club. This summer we have our annual frog jumping contest, so check our website for that information. I've also mentioned in the past, become a friend of ours on Facebook. That gives us almost instant communication with you as to things that are happening here, things that are just arriving. So with that, come on into Wojo's. Things are really blooming here, ready to go to your landscape. See you next time.
Well, that's all the time for this week. We hope you enjoyed our program. Don't forget to enjoy the Wag and Walk on the 18th on Powell Lake Park. So, for our reporters, Terry Stiles, Elgin Nichols, and George White, I am Bill Service, and you have a great, great week.